The rain had been falling since morning, turning the narrow streets of the town into quiet streams. People rushed past with umbrellas, their faces hidden, their thoughts somewhere far away. But inside a small, dimly lit room at the corner of an old building, Ethan Carter sat by the window, watching the world blur behind raindrops. It had been exactly 1 year since Lily Harper left. Not left the city, not moved away. She had left this world entirely, taken by an illness that came too suddenly and stayed too briefly, like a storm that never gave a warning. And ever since that day, Ethan's life had been stuck between memories and silence. The room still looked the same. Her books were on the shelf, untouched. A dried rose was still pressed inside one of them. The cup she used for tea sat in the kitchen, as if waiting for her to return and complain about how he always added too much sugar. Ethan had tried to move on. Everyone told him to. Time heals, they said. Be strong, they insisted. But no one told him how to live with the emptiness that followed. He picked up an old letter from the table. It was one Lily had written during their college days. Back then, life was simple. Dreams were big, and time felt endless. The paper had faded a little, but her handwriting was still clear, soft, curved, full of warmth. You worry too much, the letter read. Even if everything goes wrong, I'll still be there, always. Ethan let out a quiet, broken laugh. You promised, he whispered, his voice barely audible over the rain. Outside, a little girl was running in the rain, laughing as she tried to catch drops in her tiny hands. Her mother stood nearby, calling her back, worried she might fall sick. The girl didn't listen. She kept running, fearless, alive. For a moment, Ethan just watched, and then something shifted. She would drag him outside, ignoring his complaints, spinning around with her arms wide open, as if she could embrace the sky itself. Life is too short to stay dry, she would say with a grin. Ethan closed his eyes, and for a second, it felt like she was still there. Not in the room, not in the physical sense, but in the way the rain fell, in the way his heart still remembered her laughter. He stood up slowly, his legs hesitant, as if they had forgotten how to move forward. The room felt heavier than ever, filled with memories that both comforted and suffocated him. He walked to the door. His hand paused on the handle. For a long moment he just stood there, fighting the invisible weight pulling him back. The fear of stepping out, the guilt of smiling again, the strange feeling that moving on meant leaving her behind. But then he remembered something else she once said. Moving on doesn't mean forgetting. It just means you're learning to live with love in a different way. Ethan took a deep breath and opened the door. The rain greeted him instantly, cold, sudden, real. Within seconds he was drenched. His shirt clung to his skin, his hair flattened against his forehead, and yet he didn't step back. Instead, he walked forward. Each step felt unfamiliar, but lighter. He stood there, in the middle of the rain, looking up at the sky. The drops hit his face, mixing with tears he didn't even realize were falling. And for the first time in a year, he smiled. It wasn't a big smile. It wasn't loud or full of joy. It was small, fragile, but it was real. Across the street, the little girl noticed him and laughed, pointing at the grown man standing in the rain like a child. Ethan laughed too, a soft sound that felt strange but comforting. He wasn't okay. Not completely. He always would. But in that moment, he understood something important. Love doesn't end when someone leaves. It changes shape. It hides in memories, in habits, in the quiet moments when you least expect it. And sometimes, it pushes you gently out of a closed room and into the rain. Ethan stood there for a long time, letting the rain wash over him, carrying away a little bit of the heaviness he had been holding on to for too long. And somewhere, in the rhythm of falling drops, it almost felt like Lily was still there, smiling, just like she always did.